Hello, hello. Testing 1, 2. Let me know if you guys can hear me. If you guys can see the chart okay. What's up, Artie? We'll give it a sec for some people to join. What's up, Adnan? Chris, what's up? Thank you, guys. How's everybody doing? How'd the week go? Final day of the week. Week is great. Let's end it on a good note. You guys trade overnight? Asia, London? Anyone? Zero trades. Yesterday I caught the top after ES swept news high. Shorted NASDAQ till the first presentation for Valley Gap. Nice. What's up, Yoram? All right, so let's get started. 9:22. We are approaching 9:30 open. Economic calendar, we had some 8:30 red folder. Today it looks like we got some volatility here, but still not much. Pretty much just ranging, especially since that release. And then we also have 10 a.m. red folder, okay, in the form of University of Michigan report. And then let me know if you guys have the same on Forex Factory. I have Trump speaking, but it says tentative. Did anyone know exactly what time he's talking? If that's even out there. But regardless, if there isn't, we just got to keep an eye on that kind of. So no full porting today. No stop loss trades, I guess. What's up, Style? All right, so let's get started. Weekly chart, bullish, not much to mention. Daily, we came down into this daily BISI, filled out the entirety of it at the bottom. To start the week, 50% of this wick played out nicely, as we mentioned on Monday. Breakaway gap played out beautifully as well. 4 hour, this purple box down here, if you guys missed, this was that daily BISI copy down that we've been mentioning the last couple of streams. Breakaway gap. And note also how we had this 4 hour BPR. I know I've mentioned this last couple of streams, but we probably have some new people here. And it's just good practice as part of my pre-session routine to just kind of walk up the steps of where we are delivering from to current market price. So daily BISI, breakaway gap, BPR, when this was occurring, there should be no reason for us to return to either of these, which we didn't. By extension, high probability fair value gaps right here. Came down right around consequent encroachment and then took off with Tuesday's AM session. And now we have expansion, some consolidation. We did come down to EQ yesterday. With these 4 hour PD arrays, we have this BPR here and these BISIs, but more so, I want to go to the hourly and just zoom in on this. Okay. I'm hoping this morning or just today, I guess, isn't just seek and destroy. Okay. We saw a lot of volatility up here, expansion, and now look at all this back and forth where we've taken out lows, highs, and now we're building this range here. Now internally we're building lows here. A little funky, but highs here, right? Right around 50% of yesterday's range. So want to let the opening range play out, see what volatility we get slash which side of this range we purge first. Okay, so came down, we swept London and Asia low, but still, that being said, let's take these off the chart. Super clean lows here. That's engineered, right? We're just ranging now with equal lows below and relative equal highs above. Let me actually just, on my other monitor here, check ES. See if we have any SMTs or anything. All right, so we actually do. We have a pretty prominent SMT at the highs with previous day high right here. Okay. So we'll see if that holds throughout the session, the AM session, and post 10 a.m. news. So most likely, I'll be waiting until after 10 a.m. to see if we get anything, unless we see something super, super clear in the opening range, 9:30 to 10. SMT, the bearish argument, unless they just rip it down at 9:30 open, obviously I'm not just going to enter that, would be that this Wednesday and yesterday's highs protected because of that SMT. We have equal lows, and we'll see if they want to bleed it down to previous day low. But to have more conviction in that, I kind of just want to see the opening range play out and see if that SMT does in fact hold, and what other lower time frame liquidity pools we get, and just how order flow looks at 10. So 15 minutes, just more of the same. Look how clean these lows are. Right in the middle of the range. And we'll actually, let's get a specific level on this. So right at noon, I know it's short of this, but previous day lunch low. So when we're this close in proximity to a session low, I just kind of put my focus on that. Like, obviously, if we're going to come down here and purge 23.86475, we'll probably go down and purge 863, right? But like, let's say this was down here and I was in a short targeting, I would just take it off the session low, right? We do see pre-market low falling just short of that. Got the indicator yesterday. It's really good. Thank you, Nelson. Yeah, today's actually, on that note, the last day for the discount with the indicator. And it's for all plans, whether you're doing monthly, quarterly, or annually. Okay. And use code SMT. But yeah, it's sweet. It saves me so much time, even in my trading. Marking up charts, prepping. Like, I don't have to go back. Like, you OG RTO members in the old streams would watch me go back and manually mark new day opening gaps, all these levels. Just a pain in the ass, to be honest. But we have lows engineered down here. What's significant about this high? Just short of midnight open. And it's also the highest high between 7 and 9 a.m. Okay. And we're about to get 9:30 open. So again, we always want to trade with, good habits, exercise those good habits, focus on the process, but especially on a Friday and a Monday, ending the week, regardless of how Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday went for you guys, like, you want to end this week with the ball rolling in your favor. You don't want to do some dumb nonsense. Even if you had a bad week and you didn't perform well, or it was funky or break even, you don't feel good about your week. There's no point in you just saying, okay, well, I might as well just try to get lucky and void the process today. Build good habits today, be proud of that, and let that carry over into next week, right? It's day by day. Let's make sure I have everything on here. And what's nice about the indicator too is that you can go back and plot these old new day opening gaps and new week opening gaps, which is good practice, just to see if anything's in close proximity. So like, we have one up here, That's a previous one. This is today's, and it shows dates. So let's say we're going to go to buy side, and I'm looking for London high. Having this new day opening gap in the scenario would be, if we get a close above and I was in a long, I would start to trail closer. So these things are significant, right? They're not going to be used every time, but so we'll actually keep this one on for now. The new week opening gap below. Aggressive sell-off, leaving these highs here just short of midnight open. What's seek and destroy? Seek and destroy is essentially just a cool ICT term for consolidation, chop, unfavorable conditions. And that typically happens when we have liquidity on both sides, or going back to before, when we see the market building a range and then just quickly purging both sides and coming right back down into the range. So we're on this 15-minute time frame again. See how we built this range here? Okay, then yesterday, 8:30 with that news, zoomed down, took the lows, okay, came right back up, took the highs, then we just came right back up into the range. And since then, we're just chopping around. And now also on top of that, it's just stacking confluence. We're within previous day's range. So that, just as a framework, is also cause for concern when we're inside the previous day range. It doesn't mean I'm definitely not going to trade, but it's just about understanding the profile that we're within, looking at liquidity and previous day and just the range that we're in. So we did just come down, obviously, and purge both of these liquidity pools that we were mentioning here. ES leaving super clean highs as well. $65.02.25. New day opening gap here is from 2 days ago. So no new day opening gap on ES. What's up, Ninja? Explain, seek, and destroy. Maybe I'm delayed, but I just did. But if not, I will in a sec. I have a video on it too. If you just type in my channel and type in seek and destroy, Real Trader Tim, seek and destroy. Yeah, so a point of new day opening gap, so virtually nothing. When we have a new day opening gap that small, I don't use it for like roadblocks, as I mentioned in the last video with the first presentation, fair value gaps. I use it in that same regard, and I'll make a video on new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps too if you guys want. If anything, like, I'll use it as a draw on liquidity, where if we have, this is 2 days ago, but let's say this was a smaller new day opening gap, just like a tick or half point, and we had Asia low right here, and we're seeing bearish order flow. It just stacks that little bit of extra confluence onto that sell side draw. Yes, if we keep going lower, we have range EQ right here from yesterday's low to the high. And recall again, we have this large SMT. This is Wednesday's high taken out with London high on ES. And then we see Wednesday's high here failed to get taken out on NASDAQ. Purging sell side below 930. $64.81 EQ. If we do bleed down there, we'll see if there's any sensitivity out of there. in terms of a bounce. These highs short of midnight open, just like NAS. News at 10, Trump speaking, who knows when. SMT here, but ES to the tick on Asia low. Would like to see that swept. And this would be classic AMD accumulation here. I think this was yesterday's stream as well. Let me clean this up where, like, yes, we did clean up these highs internally, these clean equal highs, right, on NAS. But we're still leaving the external looking at this range. They're building that liquidity right there. So this is more so just like to upset these highs, bring it lower, and then resume. Now it's just about, the timing. Especially with news, unless I see something soon, I'll probably just wait till post 10 a.m. But today's new day opening gap, August 12th, new day opening gap. And if we are going to go back to buy side, ideally it would look something like this. So if they don't make another leg lower, get above this large SIBI right at 930, invert it, go higher, use that new day opening gap, and expand higher to end the week. Let's actually look at the weekly candle. Yes, let's see, still leaving those lows. Be nice to get an SMT down here, which technically, as I mentioned, we already do have, but the equal lows, with especially a session low, I don't like. Running these lows. And even looking back, so obviously, let's actually clean this up. I guess we'll just clean this up. 5 minute, kind of zoomed out here, but previous day low, previous day high. We're in discount of this range. Pretty deep discount. Okay. Now also, now we could slice through this over here, but if we start to bounce out of this, we clean up this internal sell side, right? And here, where price is, like 845 right around here. This is a lot of back and forth, so we'll see if there's any signs of bounce out of here. Just looking for context ahead of this macro window in the news, but and especially if today's going to be seek and destroy, it would make sense for us to go back up into the range. If we don't see any signs of bouncing, then maybe I look for a short down to previous day low. So pretty open-minded here. There's our first presentation fair value gap relative to bias. Let's actually get, do we have previous day low here? About 50 points away. ES still doesn't want to take that Asia low. Revisiting almost EQ of this range we mentioned yesterday. Monday low to Wednesday high. 828. We'll get that level down there. In the 1 minute, if we do gravitate down there. How you guys doing? We getting to 100 likes today? Keep that streak going. So obviously, again, 2.8 EQ. If we revisit there, main thing now is I want to see ES take these lows and not play these games. 106 people, 20 likes. Yeah, it's all right. We're still waking up. What's up, Sharky? Any trades? Three AM got long on Euro, 2R, nice. There you go, Nime. Tim, does it matter if the first fair value gaps are BISIs or SIBIs in your analysis and market direction? No, not really. I mean, just ideally, let's say we're looking for a bullish bias. Just to have that clear manipulation, typically what we'll get is like a 930 gap, where if we do run lower like we have here, the SIBI then will invert it, ideally during a macro and when we don't have these equal lows with a session low on ES. But like, let's say we didn't get a 930 gap here and then we see macro power 3 manipulation, everything's in play for a turning point in the long, and then we just get our 930 fair value gap as a BISI here, that would be fine too. So it's not like I'm only taking inversions, but just typically it'll be that Judas swing lower when we're bullish, okay? Form that SIBI during the manipulation phase, get above it, right, as an inversion, and then try to take off from there. Really quickly too, these little bias footprints, what do you see, notice about these highs here? They're relatively equal, but, because I don't need to label it, just short of today's new day opening gap. So new day opening gap is a place we typically revisit, okay? We have relative equal highs there, and pretty relative equal highs above. So if we start to see a turning point down here, this could be a good first target, place we want to revisit, and then see if we can get a close above and displacement away from it. Finally, moving lower back into EQ of the higher time frame range. ES taking Asia low, leaving these highs. ES still no 930 gap. Pretty clean highs right here. And there's EQ of the range. 481. Previous day, new day opening gap. Right around current price. 4 minutes till macro. It's got a new 15-minute candle. See if they do want to bring us down to previous day low. It would be nice to know if Trump was speaking at a specific time window. I'm going to look it up. We need to get ICT in chat. ICT. Show yourself. Did I take anything so far? No, I didn't. Oh, Trump's meeting with Putin. Sounds like fun. Probably get some death candles today then. On NASDAQ, Artie? Try to give it a control R. Just look at ES 15-minute here. Down to EQ, running some of these lows. Another 50-minute low here. What would be sweet would be previous day low SMT, which is occurring at the moment. Look at ES. Down here, news manipulation, and then see if we can attack some of that internal buy side. It's the only thing I'd really want to entertain right now. There's previous day low. Macro open here. So when we have a red folder event or macro, I'll wait till after. Again, just news is just more likely to cause some tomfoolery, some additional manipulation. So it's always just good practice. Sometimes, we do take off a bit prior, but ten AM is red folder. Yes, correct. New week opening gap on NAS right below. ES down to discount. I'd like to see if they are going to push us higher. It would be ideal to get some 10 a.m. open with that news manipulation below that 10 a.m. opening price and see if we see recovery to buy side after that. In this hourly BISI, and why is that significant? It's right at EQ. So we'll see if the bodies respect that at 10. Back and forth movement here. This should be balanced unless we really want to just have a large down day today and start to attack low of week. Monday's low here, but really just about what news does and then the reaction after that news. Tim, how is the life? The life is good, brother. How about you? Just short of that new week opening gap. If we do get going on ES, whether it's news just rips us up or we see manipulation then start to recover, at the moment, this would be nice, something like this. Up above the 930 gap, down, and then attack this buy side. Fine, just want to say you're a nice mentor. Thanks, brother. Where are you watching from, Anime? Yeah, this could be potential CISD, but I can't, and I'm not going to enter before news. and I don't want to. If it just rips us upwards, and I'll just try to find somewhere to get involved. And that's that, and that's trading. Before this news, let me go top down. What do you guys think? Lower or higher? Let's figure this out together. All-time highs? That'd be unreal. Yes, we have this large SMT with previous day low, pretty prominent. Everyone's saying higher. Hopefully the market makers are not in this chat because we might be cooked if we all try to take longs. It's annoying as shit. All right, let's clean this up here. This drawing I made. We'll do a weekly review on that. Maybe tomorrow or something. The market maker is ICT, so if he's in the chat, he's going to screw us all over. Just kidding. ICT would never do us like that. Two minutes news. If we do turn here, ideally, obviously, it would be these highs, 23,927. 2.5 is about 130 points away at the moment, but right now, I don't really want to be a seller down here, to be honest. We swept too much liquidity for me. If I was to take some short today, it would probably be in a 1050 or 1150 macro where we see some more, super clean lows and then just a classic continuation setup lower. But I don't really like taking these setups. Like, see how we're all the way down near low a day. Like, if we were to inverse this, could it go lower? Yeah. Would I favor lower prices? Yeah. But I wouldn't really want to take that with, again, the fact we swept a lot of liquidity. We're still in a discount of today's intraday range. I don't want to short down here. So I'd rather just let that go if it's going to occur and then see if there's a long post whatever move lower. So news in about 40 seconds. It's a buy now. Let's see if we all get cooked. Let's clean this up a bit. All right, what do you guys think with news? 20 seconds before, up or down? Just rips us up. It probably will. If it rips us up to these highs and just takes off, then I'm not going to trade. So hopefully it doesn't do that. Don't leave those equal lows, bro. Lightsaber. Darth Maul, red lightsaber, brother. Full port longs, Jeff. Jeff full porting from Hawaii. How many likes we got? We got 100 likes yet? Nice, Jeff. 130, you guys. You guys who joined late, you guys have a good week. $60 likes. We can get that to 100. What's up, Emmanuel? Equal lows right above the new week opening gap. means if we get along, I'm not going to take it now. So that's rules. I've spoken that, I believe the first stream of the week would be super annoying if we leave that and then take off. But at the same time, then maybe I'll, with the next macro or something, look for a short if they want to retrace us here and see if we can come down here. So still just waiting. They really left equal lows. Close below the 4-hour gap. ICT, I know you're in this chat messing with me, with the algorithm. If they want to bring us up to premium, this 930 gap, I'm just short of it. 23.84725. There's EQ of this range. I mean, if we get above this 930 gap, we'll probably just pump higher. First objective after that would be these highs we mentioned short of the new day opening gap for today. 87.25. Yesterday's new day opening gap right at EQ on ES. Leaving equal lows, just short of new week opening gap. Unfortunate. So if they didn't have these equal lows, I would be long here. But my rules are my rules. But we'll still taper it if it goes higher. Right at EQ, equals engineer on both sides now. And sometimes that just occurs. Sometimes that's the game. And again, if anything, I'm never in a rush to FOMO, oh, what if it goes higher, or what if I short whatever the scenario may be with equal lows below or equal highs above. Because if we just apply, if I just wait, at some point one side will be swept. And if they do leave equal lows, there could be a great setup later. So why would I try to force it just because I need to be involved now, just in case I get it right, when I have more logic, more confidence later when we don't have equal lows below? Or if we do get a sweep and a clean short, then I can target these, right? Equal lows was swept by MNQ. Yeah, I don't use MNQ for structure. I use minis. Patience will pay, brother. Is anyone in this? I know you MNQ folks are probably banking on this. Why is that 930 fair value gap at 939? This displacement candle is right at 930, so it has to be after that. So no fair value gap, no fair value gap here, fair value gap. There you go, masks. Nice, ambitious. It's 4-hour inversion. -minute Sibi. So we have this 5-minute BPR. Again, the only thing now is, like I mentioned, we have liquidity on both sides. Like we obviously swept a bunch the sell side, but when we have equal lows here, especially with a news wick, also just above the new week opening gap, It's just not ideal, right? And I'm perfectly fine with just waiting for a better setup, whether that's today or, calling it a week and then coming back Monday. Even looking ahead, this could be a great target Monday if they leave these, you know? But really curious now, what if we do get a retracement? We came into this volume imbalance, but if we see a retracement to this BPR, 945 SIBI, 10 a.m. BISI, how we act. If we do want to revisit the low and we get a close below this, we could do something like this. This is something I don't want to be a part of right now, so we'll stay on. Do you guys want to stay on for 1050 macro? Let me know. Yeah, what Nelson said. Hit the like button. Thank you, Nelson. All right, we'll make it fun. If we get to 100 likes, I'll stay on for the 1050 macro. What do we got right now? 70. All right, 100 likes before 1030. You have 15 minutes to get 30 likes. Make Tim famous. We are respecting this 930 gap. If we're going to go up, it should just spool up to these highs we mentioned, and we'll see if we get a close above today's new day opening gap, which can send us to opening range high, 930 open, but ultimately these highs we mentioned earlier, 23,927.25. if they're going to continue to push this higher, there should be no reason for us to come back down. Should just spool up here. Again, I'm not in the trade. Equal lows left. News just sent us. So now just kind of waiting, tape reading, seeing what price wants to do to prep for the 1050 macro. If this 930 fair value gap gives and we get back below it, it'll probably just be time distortion until the next macro. It's already starting to move slow, so it's important what it does shortly here. These are still just sus to me. And just laying the framework for me not wanting to be involved or rush into anything. I'm going to come back Monday, calling it a day, Anime. This is sus. $84 likes. You need 16 more before 1030, and I'll stand for the 1050 macro. And I'm dead serious. If we don't get that, I'm going to go to the gym. No problem, Jeff. It was a good week. So next week we'll go back to just the private group streams. Maybe I'll do like a Monday stream here and or like some PM session stuff. How not to be depressed. What concepts do you guys want me to make videos on? What do you guys struggle with? The most? What do you guys enjoy and want reinforcement of? I'm always looking for ideas. Do I take trades every day? Most days will at least get something, but I'm fully prepared to not take a trade, today, and that might even be the case if we just don't get something. Especially since it's Friday, it's been a good week. Just wrap it up, go about my life, get off the charts, go spam a shit ton of pre-workout. I drink way too much caffeine. That's one of my vices. Some nice Total War before workout. Right, already high resistance liquidity run. I actually forgot to post that yesterday in the group, so I'll make a video on that. Higher time frame narrative. You too, Nelson. Well, it's a better vice than a lot of the other things we could be doing, right? This is just slow delivery. We're still respecting this on a close, but there's nothing I want to, I always harp to you guys, whether it's here in the group, on taking high quality setups, being okay with passing by moves that could occur. If I favor buy side, it doesn't mean I have to take it if there's something that's not a deal for me. Equal lows, right? You remember we have Trump speaking at some time too, but more so just how price is delivering and what news did. I don't need to take a move. This thing could just, since this low was made, it moved like 100 points. Am I frustrated? Am I mad? No. I followed my rules, right? And this thing could continue higher, another 100 points, and go to London high. If there's no setup where my rules are my entry criteria is being met and I'm following my rules, then I shouldn't be in a trade, right? And that's real success in trading. It's not, I have to make it out of here. I have to take a trade today or 5 trades or be green today by any cost, because the more you focus on the outcome, the more you're going to screw up, the more you're going to be nervous when you're putting a trade on, the more you're going to be nervous when you're trying to hold that trade, right? And trading's uncertain enough as it is. Trading's stressful enough as it is. So we need to get out of our own ways. And that helped me out a lot, right? Especially with ICT, when sometimes you see how precise these signatures are: respective consequent encroachment, first presentation fair value gaps, all these things. It's fascinating, especially in the early part of your journey, becoming a student and applying them. But then you try to do every little thing, and it's decision fatigue. You make mistakes. By extension, you're ruining your confidence. And then over time, you realize less is more. You only need a few pieces, right? So if I was in either direction, I wouldn't feel as confident as I want to feel when holding a trade, right? And if I can objectively understand that, why would I rush into a position and push the button? This high here falling just short of EQ on ES, the new day opening gap and the 930 gap. Honestly, what would be ideal, or just a potential scenario I would entertain, is if we just chop around for a bit and then the 1050 macro come up into this premium. This is engineered. Sweep that high, reject off of this, and then resume lower, right? Yes, we swept a lot of this sell side on both markets, as we mentioned, but this is still just a little sus for me, to be honest. If that's not given, then it's not given, right? Let's say in the next 25 minutes or so till the next macro, we do just bleed lower and take that out, then I'd want to see if there's signs of bouncing after this. Okay, so really just trying to internalize what the market's telling me here. Never in a rush to do anything, right? Do we get 100 likes yet? You guys going to see the 1050 macro, or am I going to hop off? Let's see. 94. What's up, Diddy? 96. Watch, we'll get 99. Is anyone still holding any position? Back below the 930 gap, we're leaving relative equal highs here. Out, no. Good Diddy. What's up, Flo? If there's so little things, it feels like there's so many confluences you give out. It gets confusing. Yeah, I mean, that can, I guess, how some people can see that, but the main thing here, I guess, to keep it simple is we went lower upon 9:30 open. News did send us lower. So initially I wanted to go long, but my rule is that if we have equal lows, I can't enter long. So we just push up, so I can't enter. So price just takes off without me. Okay. If these weren't equal lows, I would have went long. I have any here. I would have went long here, and I would have wanted to see it spool up. It still could, but that would have been my trade. Prop Raspy. What's up, King and Queen? Protective highs / lows, Jeff. Got you. You're done, Ravel. Nice. So see how we're just chopping around now? This is time distortion. Seems like when we have scenarios like this with equal lows, we only go back up only to rebalance before coming back for them. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm suspect of, Jeff. And again, like we've pushed higher, we could continue to push higher, but sometimes that happens, Big Bri, better to wait for a setup. No need to force anything, especially on Friday. Yeah, exactly. As I mentioned, Tim, the 930 fair value gap sends price lower. So if we close above that 930 fair value gap, then that should drive price higher. Correct. Yep. That's the way I utilize this. But the overarching narrative and just rules that those signatures, for me, come after equal lows down here or equal highs above if I'm trying to short, right? Or unfavorable conditions, right? So again, if we didn't have equal lows and I took this long, or let's say we got like long down here, right? This isn't the best scenario for what I'm about to describe, but let's say there was a nice inversion down here. Once we got to close above this, then I would trail to break even or start to trail a little tighter, right? And just with higher confidence that these signatures would pan out and send us higher. They're not every time, just like everything else in trading, but since I'm looking at this as time distortion, lower probability, engineered liquidity on both sides, I think these signatures, especially since I'm still objective, we're on the 1 minute time frame, are less likely to pan out. And that, like what I just described, that perspective, that skill set for me now is a hard thing you learn over time. Favorable, what kind of conditions we're in relative to just taking pattern trades. And just a close above a 930 fair value gap, it is technically just a pattern, right? But those patterns or those signatures are more likely to pan out when there's favorable conditions, right? And keywords, more likely. Think in terms of probabilities, right? Because if this was favorable and we were in a nice buy program, it should just refer to this, close above, go, refer to the new day opening gap, go, instead of doing this, right? All right, 1031. We're just chopping around. Didn't get 100 likes, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here anyways. This is garbage. Be safe. Do not try to be a hero to end the week. Okay? It's not worth it. There's plenty of opportunities next week. It's good to go reset, recharge outside the charts. If anything, you're going to sit here, do some review of this week, right? You don't need to push the button to make progress. You just need to follow your process. Okay, and sometimes that process, good trading, is not doing anything, right? So to wrap it up, if I'm reflecting on a trading session, trying to say, okay, how'd you do today? If I am green on the day, but I just got lucky and didn't follow rules, whatever, it's just a ticking time bomb. It's a matter of time till I just give that money back anyways, right? But if I take no trade because I shouldn't based off my system, based off my rules, then that's great performance. And sometimes that's just how it is. Okay, and that's what keeps you in the game long enough to grow, long enough to understand favorable conditions, unfavorable conditions, right? And just that superpower of being able to let go. Okay? Let everyone else get chopped up in this, right? And it's not you versus other people, it's you versus you, but let that old, undisciplined, dopamine-driven person, the version of you, let them stay behind who you need to be. And that's just objective, analytical, responsible, disciplined. You don't need to be doing tremendous feats in your trading. Okay, so I'm going to hop off. Again, indicator discount ends today. That's in chat as well as the description of this video. Use code SMT. It's for all plans. If you guys have any questions on the stream, anything trading related, just join the free Discord. Okay, or I guess in the comments of this video, but free Discord is discord.gg/realtradertim. That's also in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a good week. Okay, slow to end the week, but still, again, good trading performance, right? Patience will pay. Think over a longer period of time. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk with everybody soon.